Hello everyone, welcome back. You are watching the Data Labs. My name is Dilip. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to create a scrolling or animating chart in MS Excel. So let's see the demo file first, and after that we will develop the same graph with a scrolling effect from scratch. So in this file you can see that we have two different columns here, like having date and sales data, and after that we have some input parameters, that is start date, days to show, and scroll increment. So initially the start day will always initialize with day or first day. It means this graph will start from the first day, that is 1st July 1980, and after that it will show the data for next 180 days. So at a time this graph will show the data from 180 days only, and whenever we click on start or stop animation, basically then it will increment the value, increase the value, or you can see that it will shift the value from 1st July to next 50 days, and then after 180 days. So every time it will show the data for 180 days, and on every animation it will shift the data from for 50 days, right? So let's click on start here, and if you can see that once you click on start, it's animating the chart. If you want to click on stop, then you can click on stop, and here you can see the level of animation, basically how much data we have covered so far. Okay, if you want to stop again start this, just click on start and it will start the animation. So this is how we can do the animation in MS Excel using Visual Basic application code, and this will using this technique or this logic, you can also animate the objects, maybe other graphs, and some data like Tableau data, basically, right? So let's start developing the tracker from scratch here. So let's click on Control N to create a new file, that is Excel file. Press Control S to save this file and give the designated folder path where you want to save this. So I'm just going to save this from this in this folder, and now we need to give the name here, that will be scrolling chart in Excel. That will be the name of this scrolling chart in Excel, and make sure the save as type should be macro enabled, okay, because we are going to write some macro code to animate the chart. Now click on save. So once you click on save, you can see that the new file which has already been saved with scrolling chart in excel.xlsm. Now here we have one worksheet, so let's move to the demo file, and from demo file we need to take the this table like date and sales data, and press Ctrl V. Now we need to change the name according to the sales data right here. So let's double click on the sheet 1 and sales data. Okay, so now we are done with adding the required date and sales data. So let's move to the demo file and close this file and do not save. Yeah, now we need to update or create the input parameters level here. So first input parameter would be start day, and the second would be days to show, and the third would be scroll increment. So these three parameters which are required to do the animation. Okay, let's change the back color of this according to this one. So let's go to the home and format painter and select this. Now we need to provide this parameter, so apply the border here. Now let's put the initial value. So we just want to start with the first date, and then we need to cover only 180 days in one chart, and the incremental value should be 50 times. Every animation it will increase the records by 50. Okay, now press Ctrl S to save this file. Here we need to insert one button so that user can click on start and stop. Okay, so just go to the developer tab here, and under control groups just click on insert, and here we need to take this form control. Okay, so from form controls let's take this one, and let's draw a button over here and click on OK. Now we need to change this this one. So let's click on start or stop. Okay, press Ctrl S to save this. Now go to the view and untick the grid line. So we just need to hide all these grid lines. Perfect. So we are done with the input parameters and all this date and sales data. Let's start creating the name. Like here we need 3 different names, like start date and total records, basically how many records we are going to show in the chart, and the increment. Okay, so let's start creating the name. So let's select this E1 and press Ctrl F3. So once you click on F3, it will show the name manager window, and in name manager window just need to click on new, and here it should be start date, and the scope should be this workbook, and the sales data we are referring this one. So click on OK, click on close. Let's select this one 180, then again press Ctrl F3. It will open the name manager. Again in name manager click on new, and here we need to total records. Okay, and the reference should be this one. It will refer to E2. Click on OK, close. Select this increment, scroll increment, that is the E3. Press Ctrl F3 and it will open again name manager. Under name manager just click on new, and this should be the increment. The name should be the increment. Okay, and it should refer this E3. Now click on OK, press close. So now we are done with creating all these 3 names. Again we need to create 2 different names, that would be the date range and sales range, so that it can dynamically select the date and sales range, and so that basis on date range and sales range we can plot a line chart. Okay, so first of all we create the name for date range and sales range. So let's start with the offset function. So here offset, and first of all we will create the date range. So let's reference should be the date here, this one, and this comma start day here we need to take this. So the start date would be say, so we have already created the name. So press F3, and if you press F3 as a shortcut key, the function key basically, it will open the paste name. So we can take the name which required. So we are going to take this start date. So this will, it will shift from this to this. So this will be the start date, then comma. So we need to keep in the same column here, in the E column. So that's why we are going to put it 0 here. And the height, so height would be total records. Okay, so press F3 again and take the total records from here, and then width. So width should be 1. So we are going to take only 1 column here, so that's why width should be 1. Yeah, now let's take this Control C, and this should be Control V, and again here we need to create the sales range. So sales range. Okay, so now we are done with let's freeze this. Okay, press F4 to freeze this value, the reference basically, and again this freeze this value, the reference. Now let's select this formula and press Ctrl F3 to create the name for date range. So under new name manager click on new, and here the name would be date range. So this is the date range, and in this refers to section we just need to give this offset A1, start date 0, total records and 1. This is the formula. So if you look at this, it has started selecting the date basis on that. Now let's close this. We need to create the sales range in the same way we created for date here. So press like copy this formula, press Ctrl F3 and new, and that would be the sales range. Yeah, and under refers to just replace this value with offset function, that is B1, start date 0, records, total records and 1, and then click on OK. Now you can see that it's taking the inputs, the range, dynamically, basically basis on this offset formula. Now close this. We do not need this these two formulas, so let's delete this formula and press Ctrl S. So we are done with all these, the names like start date, total records, increment, and date range, and date sales range. So here we need to insert a formula, chart basically. So let's click on insert tab and then come to the chart section, and under chart section just take this 2D line chart, the simple chart here. Let's keep the chart here, make it a little bit wider. Now we need to assign the source of this chart. So right click on this blank chart and click on select data. Yeah, so under select data source, just select this legend entry series basically. So we have only one series in this data set, that is the sales. Okay, so let's click on add here, and the series name should be sales, and the series value, so here let's delete this, and the series value should always start with this. So keeping this worksheet name, I'm just going to remove this the cell reference, and here sales range. Okay, so this is the name which we have already created, so click on OK. Now you can see that it has started showing this the day, the line here. Now we need to edit this, the edit, because if you look at this, it's showing the 17 something like that. So just click on edit, and here again we need to give the reference of date. So in date we'll keep this sales data, the worksheet name, but we'll take out this, the reference, and we have already created a date range, the name basically. So let's date range, date range, click on OK. Now click on OK. So everything is done here. We just need to do the formatting. So first select this, the axis level basically, and click on format axis, and under format axis pen we need to select this text axis and click on close. Now we are done. Let's change the header, that would be daily sales trend. Now close the format shape. So this the chart is ready. Let's start writing the Visual Basic application code to animate this chart. So let's open the Visual Basic application window. So just go to the developer tab here, and under code group just click on Visual Basic, and in Visual Basic application window we just need to insert one blank module here. So click on insert and module. Now we have a blank module so that we can write the code here. So first of all we need to declare a public variable to hold whether animation is in progress or not. So it will be the boolean value variable basically. So let's public and then animation in progress as boolean. Okay, and let's start writing the sub procedure. So sub animate chart, create some room, and here we need to declare some variables to store all the name range and to store the last rows available in the sales raw data, right? So let's first variable will be start value as it's long, and the second variable would be dim increment as integer, and this the third would be dim total records as long, dim last row as long. So these four variables which is required here. So let's start initializing all this. So before initializing we need to check whether animation is in progress or not. If animation is in progress, and if and then user will click on this animation in progress, then it will start or stop button again, then it will stop the animation. and if animation has stopped and again usually clicking on start button, then it will start the animation. So we will do that with if conditions. If animation in PR progress, then and if. So we need to take this variable here actually, and then if animation in progress, then it would be false. Let's initialize this animation in progress with true. Yeah, and here we like, if user will click on stop, then it should be end. So it will come out from this animate chart sub procedure. Now let's initialize the variable that is the start value. So in a start value we need to store this one. So this workbook dot sheets one dot range, and range would be the name which we have already created. So let's move to this Excel window here and press Ctrl F3. So we need to take this start date, this name start date, right? Come to the Visual Basic, and here we need to store this. Let's copy this line of the statement and replicate this for increment and this one total records. So let's take this increment, and again the name range was increment. Total records, again the name was total records. So we are done with assigning all the three names which we have created as input parameters. So start value, increment, and total records. Now we need to identify the last row which is available in this sheet 1, that is sales data. So last row is equal to this workbook dot sheets 1 dot range, and here we will take the range, the column 1, and then rows dot count, and then end, and we will go up basically Excel up dot row. So what it will do, it will provide the last row having value. So this is the last row. Yeah, now let's start writing the like animating the chart, or you can say that increasing the start value by 50 or by the increment value which we have already provided in sales data or data sheet, basically sales data sheet. So let's here we will utilize do while, and that would be start value should be less than last row minus total records. Yeah, loop. So here we need to take this variable name, yeah, to make it more clarity, let's put the bracket. So what we are doing, we are validating like this do while this code will run, or loop will run till start value is less than last row minus total record. And let's initialize, increase the last start value by increment. So start value is equal to plus the value is increment. So every time this start value will be increased by the value which we have already passed in increment. Yeah, so initially we have added, let me show you, the 50. So every time it will increase the value of start by 50. And now here we need to change or initialize the value. So this one, start day, this name, that should be start value. Okay, and then once it will initialize the name, we just need to pass the control to system so that it can refresh it. So do events. Now we just need to make this animation progress, that is false. Okay, so our code is done basically. If you want to debug it, click on debug, compile here. So everything looks fine. Let's move to the Excel here and assign the macro. So right click on that, assign macro, select the animate chart, click on OK. Now press Ctrl S to save this. Click on start or stop. So by default the initial value is 180, like 180 days data will show here, and then every time it will increase the data or maybe shift the data for 50 days. Yeah, so click on start here, and now you can see that it's animating. Let's click on stop and then start again. So this is how we can animate the chart using Visual Basic application code, and it's look very beautiful. So if you want to utilize the same code and techniques in animating some tabular information, tables data basically, or maybe to want to animate some objects, then you can utilize the same code here. So if you find this tutorial helpful, then please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.